this is Jay Dragon, and I'd like to welcome you to the Dragon. What I started out on doing was I grabbed the brand new shoes from Walmart, and I sit right there and I got a hold of my sandpaper. I roughed it up, and then I put the adhesive promoter, and then I mixed the paint with adhesion promoter, which should help it bond more by having one on the surface and one on the in the paint. So I'm hoping that it would hold more. So that's what I did. So I made sure I prepped each surface, but then this is already up to the part where I started painting. So I started using Angelus flat white and mixing it in with the colors to give it a light. That's got my adhesion promoter for the paint mixed in with it. That's why I'm sitting right there shaking it, making sure it's well mixed. And I'm setting it up here on my little palette. And for some reason the stuff makes it look thin, but it's very sticky, which really helps out with the process. And I'm putting the flat white in it to make it a little lighter and stuff like that. So right here at this point, I'm sitting right there putting more colors into the flames and making them blend in a little bit more, because with this shoe, it is a strange material, and the bottom of it just dries up a little too quickly. It makes it a little hard to sit right there and do your blendings and make it look completely, but you'll find a way when you get started. So I sit right there and started blending everything together. But this is where I started doing the blue flames on the upper tip, on the side, the little special little thing they got right there just to make the color. So I sit right there and mixed up 3 different colors: a light blue, a darker blue, and very light blue. So I sit right there and took a detail brush and went and did the hams deep with the dark blue, just to have that as the process for the flames, the really hot flames that are fixing to shoot up and burn your feet like you want to. Just give the shoe a nice little product contrast and give it a pop besides the yellow, orange, and blue. So now what I did was I've got a new airbrush, so I was sitting right there wanting to do stencils on it. So I went ahead and got it out, and I really like the way it looks. It's a good little airbrush, and I really like it. I like the fact that I could use 3 different areas to sit right there and contain my paint in. I mean, imagine that one day you got to do a bigger area with your airbrush instead of just a little one. So you use the little tank thing on the top and then put the bigger one on it. You got 3 different versions of it in it. So I sit right there and got the little one because I didn't need the big one that much. And these pots on the top for the gravity fed airbrush works really good because you could clean these so much faster than the ones with the bottles on them. The air pushed paint ones, you know what I mean. But anyway, these are a little bit easier to clean. I like them. I got the other ones too, but I don't sit right there and say one product is better than the other. Sometimes you need that one with the bottle on it because it will sit right there and you could do a bigger area because it can hold more paint, but sometimes you don't need a whole lot of paint, so you have to use a smaller. So you catch my drift. Alright, what we're going to sit right there and do is get these stencils that I've sit right there and put on there for the shoe, and I've had trouble with them. Sometimes they will wiggle off. It would soak right in through the material. The material is so weird. So this is my little compressor. I like to use this because I usually work at night on this stuff, and I don't want to make a lot of noise. So this little compressor works really good, and it ain't making too much noise for what I need. And I got another one. Air compressor is a big tank, more than what I need for this kind of project, so I'm not going to use that right now on something like this. So I've got 4 different dragon stencils to go on this. I really liked the stencil, so I sit right there and took my time to get it out so I wouldn't rip it, tear it, or anything like that. So what I did was I get it on there, and then I pulled all the plastic material off. I sit right there and try and push it on there, and I use my heating gun to heat it up, because usually when you do that with the heating gun, it will stick more, because the heat activates the adhesion on the back. So what I did was I took my white and I used it and I put it all over the picture. So I did this about three times, just so I can know I can get a base of white with the airbrush on it, and I would heat it up. And the problem is the stencil wouldn't stay. It gave me a lot of trouble, but it still turned out pretty good. So what I did was to get the white all over it so I could sit right there. I clean out my brush, I airbrush, and I redid it again. So I went ahead and started using a red color after that. So I started just dabbing it a little bit with the white before I started onto it. But I wanted to get more of a white color all over it, so I sit right there and dabbed it onto it instead of spraying it. But the problem is the stencil kept trying to come up, so I sit right there and got a hold of the airbrush, so I knew that the picture would be more even. I should have probably hit it with a little more coats, with a little bit lesser of the heating gun. So basically what I should have done was kept up with the airbrush, but sit right there and do it without all the heat gun. So what I did was the same process I did a while ago, and I went over it with the brush instead, because I felt like it put out a little more material. But the problem is it would soak in the fabric too much, and the fabric, it would absorb it so easily. So what I should have done was made it a little bit thinner when I sit right there and did that. Because at this process, I put it straight on from the paint instead of sitting right there putting any too soft in it like I did on the first one. But that was in the toe area where you're going to sit right there and wiggle your toes. You don't need it to be so hard right there. So, and then I just went in, tapped it on top of the stencil, and it turned out alright. So I just went all in on it and made it look like a freaking Smurf. And well, see, as you can see, some of the color merged around and all this other stuff. So basically what I did was come back with the blue, went around with the white, and started making those areas, the detailed areas, and those lighter, so I could sit right there and blend it in with the rest of the flame that I'll put on there later. Like I said, this shoe's going to be hot. It's going to burn your feet when you put them on, and maybe the dragons might bite it off, because that's what they do sometimes, especially since they love flesh. They got to eat. Alright, now, I'm sitting right there putting the different colors of the blues, trying to get more of the flames in, and trying to fix what I did. So what I did was get a hold of a sticker, a JD, and put them on the back after I done all that. So, well, I used the outside, and then I used that little bit of the inside to sit right there and go around. What I should have done was pull it a little further apart and say, so, you gotta live, you gotta learn, you gotta sit right there and do this process. And I'm also trying to tell you the wrong stuff I've done so you don't have to do it. And that's where really all this stuff is for, because I'm still learning, you're learning, and we got to get all this stuff, product and things set up. I appreciate y'all for watching, and it looks like I got a little trick of my stuff from the past. So I did have a hard time with this, so I redid it later on with some black paint. So we're going to see all this stuff. As you can see, this shoe is done. I mean, I got the details on the front and back, and I think it looks good. Okay, yeah, what do y'all think? It looks done to me.
Granted.
Psych.
I'm about to run to Davies real quick. He should be here in a minute, but I'm not going to be going there about 5-10 minutes.
Alright. This is what it looks like so far. I'm done with it. And I added that little detail to the back. See, I put it in the white, I lined it, but if I'm going to do any more to it, I will sit right there and do it. But everything kept merging in with things and everything, so I still think it looks really good for something like this. So, see what you think. This is the before. That's the after. And this is the before. So, you decide. That's the end of this. Alright, this is the way the shoes look now. I redid the back a little bit and painted it with black to even it out, and that's how the JD looks. I didn't put it on the other side yet, but I will eventually. So, but out of that, I still like the two dragons. These are different dragons, which is kind of strange for normal, but I like them. One looks darker than the other, and can't see all the detail out of it like you can the other one. Got white on certain spots, kind of helps it out. Looks a little well. This one, it turned out pretty good. It's not as good as the before. And then I like the dragon head right there. It's got the details. It's got the white lining helping it out, making it look more a little crisp. On the other one, you can see the dragon. I added the eye color to help out, and it seemed to have done pretty good at making it look more like a dragon sticking his tongue out. But that detail seems to help out. So all in all, I am alright with these shoes. They look good. More practice and I think they will look even better. But I'm still learning how to use the details, and I will rock these sometimes. So if you want to sit right there, hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe.